Hey 12 students, welcome back on this wonderful platform of verbal skills. I hope your preparation is going well. But one more thing here I would like to add here. First of all, tell me, have you ever wondered why some stories feel so real while others take you into a fantasy world? That's because of narrative techniques. So, yes, this is our topic for today's video. If you understand these techniques, you can analyze literature like a pro and score full marks in your board exams. So, let's break them down chapter by chapter. The first chapter from your book Flamingo, the last lesson. Here, this is actually narrated in a first person, so narration, and flashback also used. Why? Because French tells the story from his perspective, making it personal. So, flashbacks highlight his regret for not valuing his language. So, this is the technique which is used in this chapter. Now, next chapter is Lost Spring. So, bit descriptive narration is used and with the blend of realism. So, this chapter reads like a documentary, real stories, real struggles. Here, the author's journalistic style makes us feel the pain of child laborers. I hope understood. And the next one is Deep Water. Very clear that autobiographical account is used by William Douglas. Here, but psychological realism is also added, where he is actually narrates his real-time experience of the mishap. Ever had a fear you had to conquer? So yes, the detailed description of Douglas' near drowning experience puts us inside his emotions. Now, the very important chapter is the rat trap. With allegory and third person omniscient narration is used. This technique is used here. Why? Because this world is like a rat trap. The author gives insight into every character's thoughts, making the story deep and meaningful. So, this technique is used. Now, next chapter is Indigo. It's biographical. Why? Because it is a biography on Gandhi written by Louis Fisher. Historical recounting as well. So this isn't just about Gandhi, it's simply history in action. The author mixes facts, dialogues and emotions to bring this revolution to life, which was actually the foundation stone of our freedom. Next chapter is Poets and Pancakes. Clearly, satirical tone and satirical technique is used, but anecdotal technique is also used here. Why? Because it's all about Bollywood glam. Think again, this chapter's humor and personal experiences expose the reality of the film industry. And the very next chapter, and very important one, the interview. Expository and analytical technique is used. Why? Because interviews are good or bad. This is also reflected. So this chapter doesn't tell you what to think. It gives us both sides so you can decide what is good or bad. Now the last chapter is Going Places. First person limited form technique is used, but stream of consciousness as well. Why? Because Sophie lives in a dream world here. The narration flows like her thoughts, blurring reality and fantasy. I hope student understood. So let's dive into the techniques of your poetry section. The very first poetry is My Mother at 66. I hope you know this is composed in free words, so symbolism is also used. No rhyme, no rigid structure, just raw emotion. The poet's fear of loss is reflected in very simple and powerful images. So here, this is a wonderful poem. Now, next one is Keeping Quiet. It's didactic and symbolism technique is used here. Why? Because Pablo Neruda tells us what? First of all, pause, reflect and grow. Every line is a call for peace and understanding. So I hope you know this is an anti-war poem. Next one is A Thing of Beauty. A wonderful blend of romanticism and sensory imagery created by the poet here. Keith's love for beauty is everywhere in this poem. You can see, you can feel, and even hear the nature he describes in this poetry. That's why Thing of Beauty is joy forever. Now, very thoughtful one is A Roadside Stand. Satirical in tone, again, the technique is also used here, also the conversational one. Imagine a poor vendor begging for attention everywhere. We also see this. The poet's sarcastic tone shows society's neglect also here. Now, the last poetry is Aunt Jennifer's Tigers. Symbolism and contrast nicely created by Adrienne Rich here. Why? Because Aunt Jennifer, her embroidered tigers are fearless, but she isn't. The poet uses a wonderful contrast to show women's struggles in this poetry. I hope, students, this much is clear. Now, your next book, we are going to dive into Vistas, your supplementary reader. The techniques are always important, so do not forget to learn and to recall them. So, the first chapter from your Vistas is the third level, and techniques are used here with surrealism and psychological realism added here, because time travel or imagination. Yes, we have to decide. The narrative is dreamlike, making us question reality. Now, next chapter is the Tiger King. Satirical and ironical. Yes, these are the techniques used here. The king tried to cheat fate and lost. The story's humor and irony highlight his foolishness. And the next chapter is Journey to the End of the Earth. It's a travelogue, an informative one. So, yeah, these are the techniques. And ever wondered what Antarctica is like? The author's vivid descriptions take us there, and we have to think a lot also. Now, next chapter is the enemy. Third person, omniscient and psychological realism is used. A wonderful struggle being shown here. A Japanese doctor, Sadao, must save an American soldier. Yes, the narration shows every dilemma he faces in this story. Now, the next chapter is on Face of It. Conversational drama with the blend of realism. A heart to heart between a lonely man, a boy with a burned face. So dialogues drives this emotional story very nicely. And the last one is Memories of Childhood, autobiographical account with a blend of perfect realism, two real stories about discrimination told with raw honesty and emotional depth. I hope understood there. Narrative techniques aren't just fancy, dear. These actually are very important. They shape the way we experience a story. Now that you know them, I hope you can analyze literature like a pro and impress your examination. One more exam tips: like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget, we have to understand everything. Good luck with your boards.